Welcome back. In this session, we are going to be looking at Excel range, tables, filtering, and sorting. Remember that this class, we are looking at a series of videos with the objective that we are introducing you to Excel as a beginner. We are assuming that you are just resuming in the workplace where we're going to be using Excel, and you are going to need minimal or no supervision and want to work independently on your own and be able to deliver at your on your decks. So in this session, we are looking at range, range, table, sorting and filtering in Excel. For instance, you will understand that if you have a data like this and you want to know what is going on in this data, you want to analyze this data. So you have a data that is, for instance, over 1,202. It could be as much as a million, and you want to see what is going on there. If you have to be scrolling down or scrolling left and right to see what is going on in this kind of data, you will not be able to get any information. For instance, maybe you want to look at how many printers do we have on this place, or when you want to look at all transactions that has to do with printer, or all transactions that were done on credit card, or all transactions that were done on online, and you want to just manually start counting this and scrolling down, it will be full adding. So one of the key skills you are going to need when you want to when you want to get information from data is filtering, sorting, and filtering. So we start with range. A data set like this is called a range. A range consists of two or more data in cells. It could be just two or more data in cells, maybe horizontally, like I have here, maybe vertically, or a number of rows and columns with titles or what we call headers like this. These titles here, you have order ID, date, customer, and all of that. So that is what we call a range. Ordinarily, a layman will call this a table, but in Excel, there's actually a difference between a range and a table. We're going to let you know that very shortly. So, how do you sort and filter for information when you have a range of data to work with? We'll come to, in old Excels, normally you will have to select the whole data set. Okay, you have to select the whole data set to apply what you want to apply. This thing is okay. This thing is interfering with my. So you come here, you see on the home tab, you come here, you see this icon, this funnel plus with A to Z icon. So this funnel is the filter function, whereas this A to Z is the shortcut to sort. Can you see? It says sort A to Z. That is alphabetical order, Z to A, okay? And then if you want to specifically sort with different thing other than alphabetical order, you have this sort, custom sort filter. So first thing is that you have to, let's suppose that we want to sort this data by products. Okay. In Node Excel, I've told you have to select the whole range of data and apply sorting. Okay. But in new Excel version starting from 2024, I think you can just click anywhere in the range and you start your sorting. But please note that it is always advisable that on both range and table, it's always advisable that you don't have empty rows or empty columns in between your data set. Because when you are sorting or filtering with empty rows, especially sorting with empty rows or empty columns within your data set, it will misalign your data. So that what was, for instance, here we have tablet 1 for unit price of 472.74. It could, when you sort with some empty spaces in between your data set, you could misalign this printer for another value and so on and so forth. So always remember that to sort in Node Excel versions, you need to select the whole data set. But for new Excel version from 2024, Microsoft 365, Office 365, you don't need that. You just put your cursor anywhere inside the sort and then you try sorting. For you to sort, remember, one thing that is very important is that your data must have a very clearly written header. This is what we call header. These titles are called headers because that is what the Excel will use as a guide to know what to sort and where to sort. Okay. And it is always advisable that your header is not double. For instance, if I type something else here, let's say ABCD, okay, I type another thing here, okay, and then I type another thing here, okay, and I want to use this thing to sort, okay, if I do see something like this, okay, and I want to apply sorting. Now, let me come up. I'll try to apply sorting. It may not be able to recognize. So let's come here, say from table, we come to this place. You say custom sort. So in this case, is this smart enough to recognize that look at this, it said my data as headers. And where is it recognizing as the header? When you come to these columns, these are columns, but these columns have been named with these headers. When you come here, it will recognize, you will see it can recognize all the headers, okay? If you try to do filtering, for instance, here, if I try to do filtering, let me see whether it will try to recognize that. So it's not advisable because if I actually type this correctly, okay, maybe I've typed more than 5, 6 rows of, data, okay, here. Maybe I've typed some things here, typed some things here, typed some things here. It may get confused to the extent that it will think that this is the header and not this. So it's always advisable that you make a free row and a free column around your data set. So here now, for instance, I have a free space, okay, here. I have a free space around this place. And by the bottom of this data, at least I have a free row, okay. It's always advisable you have that so that your data is separated from any other data set or any other thing that may be near it, so that when you are doing your filtering or sorting, it will not be confused. You see, I'm giving out a space here as well. So this data is not attached to anything. It will not be good for me to type some things here. No, have some data here which are not related to this data set, or here, or at that top, or at the bottom. Okay, if I have to have something at the bottom, you have to have some space with the last data set, the last row. This is the last row of data. So if I need to get something done that is not part of this data set, I may do it here, or better still, a bit lower than that, but not exactly next to the last data row. Okay, so we go back to what we want to do, which is sorting. So I want to sort. Let me remove the filter for now. See drop down. You see, it's the filter is selected. So for me to remove it, I just click back on it. So I want to sort this data range. So what do? I come to this place. I say, if I say sort alphabetical A to B. Now, in this case, where is my cursor? My cursor is in column H, which is shipping address. That's not what I want to use. I want to use product to sort. So I put my cursor in column E, where is product. Okay. And I say sort. I say A to Z now. You see, it has sorted. So you now have chairs. Okay. Desk. Okay, can you see? Sorting alphabetically from C to L to D to L, and like that, like that. Okay, so let's undo that. So we could have sorted Z to A as well. We can do multi-level sorting or custom sorting. For instance, I want to sort by column product, which is what we did the other time. Okay, I can add another level of sorting to it. So if I want products, okay, I want to sort it by product, and after sorting it by product, I want to sort products, okay, that referral source is, for instance, is is let's say product that referral source is Instagram. So I come to where's referral source? I go to referral source. You can see referral source. Then I sort again. I can say, okay. Or let's say even let me sort not referral source. Let me sort with date. That is or order ID. Let me start with order ID. Let me sort with date. Let me sort with date so that you can see another thing. Customer, come up here. See date. Can you see? This is date here. Remember, this is showing that my data has header. That's why it's able to pick those header and list them there. If I remove this, if you don't have a clear header, for instance, if I remove this, you see now, instead of referring to those header title now, it's referring directly to the column. This is for column E. Can you see? No longer saying product. Okay, and this is for column. This date is for column C. No longer saying, okay, no longer saying dates. So if you have, so that's one of the reasons why it's good for you to have an elder when you are doing your sorting with a data range. But if your data range does not need an elder, or maybe you just want to sort within a data set, you may just uncheck this. Okay, you may uncheck this. But in this case, I'm going to put it on check. Okay, so let's go back. We sort first by product. It's still not, so it's check, it's not check rather. I'm waiting for it. I don't know why it's okay. So you say product and by date. So if I say date, you say oldest to newest. I could actually say newest to oldest or a list of dates that I've customized already. Okay. So this is level sort. If I want to add another level, for instance, I can sort and say, okay, let me have only Instagrams, for instance. Sales value. Now look at this. You are sorting by product. You are sorting by sales value. You can sort by sales color, font color, if there's conditional formatting. Okay. But we have not taught us for conditional formatting as much. So for instance, if we have some of this data colored, maybe duplicates are being colored and all of that, we can sort by that. So, but we don't, in this we will take in the higher class. Okay, but just for you to know there are different options that you can choose on each sorting level. Okay, so if you wanted to do another sorting, for instance, if you want to say by referral, and you just pick other status. Okay, we can pick other status and say let's sort by other status or payment method. Okay, let's say payment method. Okay, so payment method, another that you can say okay and sort, but I don't want to complicate it. Let's just sort, for instance, by two level this time around. So I say okay. Voila. You see, the data is sorted. We are sorted by products and we are sorted by dates. You can now see the data more arranged. This is 2023, January. Okay, we are still in January. You can see it's going like that until you have February, until you have March, until you have April. You can see. And you are also sorted by what? By product from chair to text. You can see C, D, okay, to laptop, I think so. You see, can you see that? So this is how you can do multi-level sorting in Excel. Now let's look at filter. For filter, the way to apply filter is similar. But what does filter does? Okay, if I want to apply filter, I can take my cursor on, I can select this, the whole of this header, okay, and look for filter. In older version, you will have to select everything in every part of this header. But in new version, you can just place it anywhere and select your header for filter. So I apply here, I say filter. Can you see? So this drop down buttons just appears. That is the filter button. So for instance, if I want to filter, I want to know what payments were done on credit. It will show me, can you see the drop down now? It shows me every part of type of payment that were made here: cash payment, credit card, debit card, gift card, and online. Let's know, let's look at transactions that were made by cash. So I deselect this first, okay, and I select cash. Say okay, okay. So we have sorted by, when you see this now, you will see it's only cash. Can you see that we have? Okay. So if you want to do multi-level sorting, now when you look at this, where we have filter rather, you can see this funnel with a drop down arrow. Okay, that is when you know that that column has been what? A filter has been applied to it. So for instance, again, if you still want after payment method to be cash, let's see product that were done by, look at our product now: desk, chair, monitor, phone, printer, tablet. So let's see, for instance, how many transactions for laptop that were on cash. You can see. So you have only cash here, okay, and you have only laptops here. Can you see now? Okay. You can also filter by date. Well, if you want to filter by date, go to this date. Now, the way to see date is this. Remember that anything you are doing with date, you must ensure that your data set is formatted as date. You can see this data set is formatted as date. If it's not formatted as date, it will not be able to recognize them and split them accordingly. So if I want to filter by date now, you will see, can you see now? The date automatically, it has grouped the dates into 2025, 2024, 2023. If I come here and you see this cross, okay, if you click on it, it will break it down. So all 2025, we have January, February, March, February, we don't have March, April, May, June. Can you see? If I collapse that and come to 2024, it will give me January, March, April. Can you see? It gives me the data set there. So if, for instance, I am looking for only December, maybe in December 2025, it is expected that that's my end of the year transaction. So supposing I'm looking at that, so I come here, I will now uncheck all of this, right? I will uncheck this until the last one. Okay, it's only to June. So let's say June. So if I pick here, I pick June. You say, okay. Can you see? So the transaction have been sorted in 3 levels now. We have sorted it by date, by product type, laptop. Okay. Date is only for June 2025. What happened? We have 2023 here. It's not supposed to be. Let me check. So there's an error. You can see I still have 2023. So I need to remove that. Can you see that? All right. So I only have one transaction for June. You can see 2025. So this is how to apply multi-level filtering. Then another thing you are need going to see, you can see when you want to clear that filter, you come here and say you clear for that column. If you want to clear this, you can come here and clear for that column. If you want to clear everything, you can come here and just apply this and it will clear everything at once. That's for that. I've talked about filtering dates, filtering at different levels. So these dates in you will see the filter will apply according to the data set, the data type. For instance, if I come here, you see it becomes number filter is available. Other things are grayed out, except from alphabetical sort. Color is still other things are grayed out, but we can sort according to what? To numbers. So, for instance, we can sort according to, let's come to this price, for instance, total price. Okay. Let's say let's come to total price and wants to sort by this. So for instance, it can give us options because we are dealing with numbers. So it's only giving us filters for numbers. Can you see? Exactly that equals to, that does not equal to, is greater than certain value. Maybe we want to sort for top 10 or top n. Okay, I select that. So top 10, I can make it top 5, top 4, top 20, whatever. Let's just make it top 5, for instance. Say 5. I say okay. So no top 5. There should be top 5 prices. Okay, no, I've applied other filters. So let me remove other filters before I do that. Let me clear all the filters. Okay. Let me clear all the filters. Okay, I've cleared all the filters. Now apply the filter again. And then I want to sort by top. This is normal. So top 10. Let's say top 5. That is 5 with the highest price, right? If I say top 5, do I have that? Can you see? So I have top 5. These are 5 orders of products with highest what? With highest sales price. Can you see that? So if the same thing I've done, if it were date, it was giving me a breakdown for dates, options for dates. You see, if it were text like ship address here, it will give me option for filter. My filter will now be for text. Okay. So for instance, if I come here, just okay, it's confusing this. I don't want that. Let me use this. It's confusing all these numbers in front of the main straight and all that. So let's use that. For instance, if I come here and I want to filter, so text, you can see you call it text filter. It is text. that is available to be filtered. Okay, maybe it contains or does not contain, it begins with or equals to, let's say, contains what? Online. And then you say, okay, so what else you have? You have online alone. Can you see? So this is how you can apply filter in searching for information on your data set. Now let's move on to table. Now we are using the same data set we used before. Now, what's the difference between a range and a table? A range and a table looks the same way on the surface, but the difference are that a table is dynamic while a range is static. When we were doing range there, if we try to make a sum, add all this together, you can see it gives us this sum. If you had a new data set, for instance, let me just copy something here. Let's suppose this is a new data set, and we had that data set to this place. Initially, let my formula just be here. Okay, let my sum be here. What equals to my sum here. Okay. So if I try to add a data set, let's say I want to add something here, it will not auto calculate. It will not auto calculate. See, it overrides that. It will not auto calculate. But if it's a table, it will auto calculate. So another thing, let's use table to actually demonstrate what I mean. So this is also a range like we had before. Now, how do you convert this to a table? You convert this to a table by going to insert, and then you say table. Can you see? Can say insert table. Another shortcut for doing that is, you see, it says Control what? Control T. So if I put my cursor anywhere inside and press Control T, it will select the whole range. Now, see what it has selected. There's an error here. I'm sure there must have been something in between. The rules, one of the rules about table is that don't allow gaps in between, just like cell for range. Don't allow gaps in between. So it's selecting beyond the data range. So I will want to see it's selecting up to P and Q. I don't know whether there are data there. There are not supposed to be data there. So PQ, I'll try to get it back to O. I want it to be on O. So instead of Q here, I'll put it on O. Okay. So, and say my table has header. You understand what that is? Okay. Now, immediately I did that. This is a table. You can see something came up, and what came up is this what we call table design. That table design now gives you all features of what you can do with a table, including formatting the table into colors. You can see here, it automatically change it into color bands. But I can come here, this drop down, and choose whatever color I want or style I want. Can you see that? Which was probably what I had before. If I want to even make it plain and it will not look like table to you. Okay, let me use for instance. Okay, so if I want this, okay. So if I want to even make it plain, it doesn't look like a table to you. You will not even know it's not a table. All right. But what will you make to know that it's a table is that anytime you click on it, if you click outside this place now, you can see there's nothing there. If immediately you click on it, this table design tab comes up. This is what we call a contextual menu. A contextual in the fact that if this table is not created, you will never see this menu. So it is when the table is created that you see the menu. So first thing is that anytime you are analyzing the data to filter or to make a report, it is always advisable to convert that data range into a table, because the table has advantage. One of the advantage of table is that it will auto-populate if we want to add additional information, whether across the row or column. For instance, if I come here now and I say it appears I want to add another title here, let's say QRL, and I press enter, it will add it automatically. Or because I've defined it, that's why it's not like ordinarily, it will add that automatically. So another thing is that a table, you name it. You come here, if you want to name your table, you name your table. So this is supposed to be a table. It's not putting on anything. Okay, it's a table. It's okay. So this is a table. For one thing that is advisable for you is to name your table. So we have inserted a table. Okay, it's grayed out. You should be able to name that table for me. I want to name the table. I don't know why it's not showing up. I should be able to come here. Table, okay, this table design. I'll come here. You can see this place is automatically written as table 1. So I'm going to name it. Let me name it A, B, C. Now, when you want to put space, you don't put space in this table. When you want to name, instead of putting space, you put underscore. No space. So put underscore. So ABC store. Okay, I press enter. So my table with that has been named. So anytime I want to make a reference to anything on that table, it will just come up with the name. Okay, so my table has been named. Another thing you need to do is that under this table design, look at this. You have header row, which is this. Okay, you can check this box so that it will automatically give you the sum. Can you see? This is, now look at this place. I'm going to check this place. I'm formatting it so that you can see. Can you see this place? Okay, this is the total. Okay, what did I do to do that? I did not write articles to or sum before you got that done. What did I do? I just came here. See, when I uncheck that, what do you see? There's no total row. When I come here, it will bring the total row. So even if I want to find average, and then you can see one of the things you also know table. Look at this small thing here, like this. How do I call it? This rectangle at the box at the corner. That is already showing you that this is a table. If you click here, you will see a drop down. So drop down will tell you, will give you other basic options of what you can do with this. So this is, you can see it is on sum. If I want minimum, it will come there. If I want average, will get it. Excuse me. If I want standard deviation, or I want to activate more function. If I want to count, can you see automatically? Because I was able to enable this total row. So one thing about a table is that, now let's put it back as sum. Let's put it back as sum. So after putting back as sum, what do you see? Okay, good. What do you see? Let's suppose I want to add a new data set. Okay, I want to add a new data set. So I would have typed, but because of time, I will just copy this. Now, when I copy this there to this row, look at what will happen. Okay, I say contribute. Look at what will happen. Okay, saying that as an error there. I'll just copy value. Okay, so ordinarily it should have changed. We can see. So ordinarily it will have changed. This data set is to the way I copied it. Okay, let me delete it. Let's delete and do it the proper way. Okay, you know what? Let's suppose I'm typing something here now. Look at me, check. But can you see? Automatically it added a row by itself. Immediately I type something here. Just what here? It added a row by itself. So, and if I try to complete it, for instance, if I put something here as a value, okay, and remember that I still have my total row. Okay, this is my total row. So, do you see? It creates the total row by itself. Okay, so total row, I'm trying to make it bold. Okay, right. Now, let's try again. This is total, right? Now, if I try to type another thing in, so what I was trying to demonstrate to you, let's remove the total column, for instance, okay? Row total, okay? So I type something there. If I try another thing here, can you see? And it gives me ability to add automatically. So anything I type here, I populate, it will automatically populate, add it to the system. So if I refresh this table and I want to do my total sum or anything, it will automatically add that data set. The same thing will apply if I've done it around. Oh, see, this was the reason I was saying the other time that some data must have been in that place. That was why it was trying to to use this place as part of the table, which is not. That's why one of the rules of table is I don't allow just any other data around that table or range. Okay. So if I go up here, right, I try to do something like maybe I try to write, let's say school. Let's say I try to say school, just anything to say. I press enter. Can you see? It added it immediately because this is already a table and it will you want to populate anything here, it will allow it to be populated. Can you see? So and it will be part of the table in whatever calculation is doing. If I want to add anything here, if I add something here, it will as a header rather. Okay. What does it do? It's not recognizing this because it doesn't follow that syntax. Let me say that okay. What does it? It will add it. Honorary, it will add it. Okay. So that is one of the. These are the features of table. Number one, tables are dynamic. They automatically recalculate when you add new data sets. Okay. Tables always have this table design which will help you to be able to manipulate the table in any way you want. Tables can always give tables name for reference. Okay. And tables can also be formatted here from this table style, can format to any style you want. Okay, presently is here. If I choose, you can see change to anything, just like that. Okay. So filter button, you can see the filter button. If I click this now, the filter button goes. You can see first column. Okay, if I want banded row, banded columns, you can see it will change. So it will have you a lot to manipulate. And if you want to convert that table back, okay, into range, if you click on this now, it will convert that table back into a range. You can see this converts to range. Okay. So tables are dynamic while range are static, meaning that table will automatically extend and automatically calculate. Table can be auto formatted. I've said that with all these table design styles. Okay. You name a table range. I've said that. Okay. Table will auto expand as you type new data. All right. And table will give you contextual uh, table design menu, which allows you to manipulate the table in the other ways you want it manipulated. Okay. Essential rules for table. I've said that too. Let me just recap that. Always have a clear, bold header. So when you are running a table, always ensure that you have a clear header. Now, supposing this is ABC store, And I have some other things that I type here. Make sure that your header is just one. This is one header. Don't type every other thing, some other things along this place. That's why I, for instance, made this ABC store a bit away from that table. Okay. Name your table. Always name your table. Your table must not have empty rows or empty columns in between. And always allow your table data to be isolated, meaning that give room for a, let the data stand out, give room for a separate column, okay, away from, if you must have other data about it, let them be a bit away from that table. The last point on this table is total price, right? So if I want to have anything, I will not allow myself, don't type anything here. Um, Preferably you can type anything here or have any other, but don't type anything close to this place. Or if it is at the bottom, of course, don't type anything immediately at the bottom, because automatically it will even add it by itself. So these are the rules that you must know in using and analyzing table. Okay. When you want to reference a table now, you want to reference a column in a table, for instance, you see, I need to teach you how to use table name. Okay, for instance, maybe we want to reference a place. Let's say I want this calculation. I want to do it manually. I say equals to sum. Okay, so sum what? I want to sum this. Okay, let's say I want to sum this, just this. Now look at my cursor. Look at this. It's different from what I come here. I just do. Look at my cursor here. When I place my cursor here, this down arrow, I click on it. You can see when I click on it, instead of referring to column O, it's referring to table. I want to calculate the sum. Remember, I put sum there. The sum of table. This is the table name, and this is the column that I'm referring to that I want to sum. So it's saying that this is what? Table. This is the structure of a table. Eh? Table ABC store. And I'm referring to column total price. The column is written in this parenthesis, okay? This brackets parenthesis, okay? Right? So, for instance, if I want to refer to, this row, this column, so let's do the same thing. You see what it's going to give you. Drop down arrow, okay? Because if I want to refer to it in this formula, it will give me the same thing. Let's say equals to count. Okay. I say I want to count this. So I come here, you can see it drop down. Can you see? See, it's saying the same thing. Count. This is the formula I want to use, right? Count what? On table. First refers to table that it has selected the whole of this table. Eh? Now, count this table ABC store. Can you see which column are you counting? Which column are you counting? At column referral source. This is the syntax of naming a table and referring to a table. Okay, so this is what you need to know about table for you to be able to manipulate and do your calculations. So I hope you have gotten value for this. If you have gotten value for this, please subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, like, share, and comment. Comment. The next time we are going to look at charts in Excel. Charts will enable you to be able to turn all these tables into visuals. That is your data set in a table form like this. You can turn it into visuals in terms of maybe bar chart, pie chart, histogram, trending lines, whatever. So that is the table will now report to you. Your data sets or range or table will report to you as what? As visuals. You're able to visualize it in form of charts. That is the next thing we are going to look at, so that when you want to make your presentation, you are not only making your presentation to your teacher or to your boss by just having this data, okay, but put it in a graphical form where somebody can see at a glance what is this data, what is it giving me, what insight is it giving me. See you in the next video. Bye.